Recording in progress.
Oceanside Planning Commission for Monday, April 28th. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And Commissioner Anthony, could you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Planning Director, could you call roll, please?
Certainly. Chair Morrissey. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Here.
Commissioner Rosales.
Present.
Commissioner Balma.
Present.
Commissioner Anthony. Commissioner Dodds indicated he'd be absent. And Commissioner Redgate? Redgate.
Present.
That's a different.
Let the record show that 6 members are present and we have a quorum.
Okay, just want to welcome our new commissioners, Emily and Grace, so welcome. Mary Sue, do we have any matters not on the agenda tonight?
Chair Morrissey, we do not.
Okay. Could I get a motion for the approval of the minutes for the prior meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, please vote.
Let the record show that the motion passes 4-0 with Commissioners Redgate and Gonzalez abstaining.
Thank you. I see no issues on the consent calendar. Our transportation items will go right into the public items. Item number 4 is consideration of a regular coastal permit to allow for a remodel, second-story addition, and landscaping improvements to an existing residence in St. Malo. And if I could get disclosures, please, Commissioner Anthony.
Staff report, that's all.
Okay. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Staff report.
Staff report and familiar with the area.
Staff report as well, and that's it, yeah.
Staff report as well.
Staff report, I did the Google search. I always like to
Yeah,
do that.
Google search, yeah.
And also, I'm very familiar with St. Malo.
Okay. Please continue.
Good evening, Chair and Planning Commissioners. I'm Lydia Grego with the Planning Division and here to present a request for a coastal permit by Dancing Bears LLC. The applicant is requesting a regular coastal permit for a remodel, addition, and landscaping improvements at 61 St. Malo Beach. The project site is a 13,830 square foot lot located within the St. Malo Beach community. The site is currently developed with a 2,700 square foot single-family residence and is bordered by the Buena Vista Lagoon to the east and single-family residences with French Normandy architecture to the north, south, and west. The site is designated low-density residential by the general plan, low-density residential by the city's local coastal program land use plan, and is located within the appeal jurisdiction of the California Coastal Commission. The property has a zoning designation of R1 or single-family residential. The proposed project consists of a 1,010 square foot addition to an existing 2-level residence, a new 20 square foot gable roof at the main entry, and landscaping improvements. The proposed landscaping improvements include new plantings, brick walkways to replace existing degraded wooden walkways, new brick pavers in the existing courtyard, and an 18-inch high wooden deck, built-in barbecue, and an outdoor shower. A majority of the proposed work is to take place at the southwest portion of the residence. The applicant proposes to expand the existing kitchen on the first level and add a new bedroom with ensuite bathroom on the second level, accessed via a new spiral staircase. A portion of the new bedroom will be above the remodeled kitchen. The remainder will extend over the side yard, creating a new breezeway that leads to the improved backyard. All exterior finishes would remain consistent with the French Normandy architecture, which would include key features such as stucco, wood shingles, and trim painted to match existing conditions. This is a view of the existing and proposed west elevation, noting these design features along with the kitchen extension, second-story addition, and new breezeway. A view of the north elevation shows the proposed gable roof above the main entrance, both enhancing the architectural character of the home and providing a defined entryway. Again, noting that the key design features would be carried out on all elevations, maintaining the integrity of the French Normandy style. Prior to submitting a coastal permit to the city, the applicant received approval of the architectural drawings by the St. Malo Association's Architectural Review Committee in July of 2023. Approval of a coastal permit is subject to conformance with the general plan, the coastal program, and the compliance with the zoning ordinance. The project is consistent with the general plan land use policies to promote quality architectural design and enhance visual quality of the neighborhood. The project is found consistent with the land use plan of the local coastal program in that the project is compatible with the surrounding neighborhood in terms of design and would have no impact on coastal resources. And furthermore, the project would comply with all required development standards of the R1 district in accordance with Article 10C of the zoning ordinance. Therefore, staff recommends the Planning Commission confirm issuance of a Class 1 categorical exemption for existing facilities and approve regular coastal permit RC 24-00012 by adopting Planning Commission Resolution Number 2025-P10 with findings and recommended conditions of approval. This concludes my presentation. The applicant's representative is in attendance this evening, and we are both available for questions.
Thank you, Lydia. Are there any questions for staff? Louise?
I just have just a comment. Like I noticed on the application that the applicant puts in, the legal description, there's I don't know, 6 or 7 parcels, but they're only on parcel 2. So there's a lot of different parcels involved in this. Is it because of all the different utility easements and stuff that have to be put onto this lot, even though they're not on? I couldn't find anything more than parcel 2, but there's
Correct.
7 parcels.
Commissioner Baumlight, yes, correct. There's several easements located in the area, so that is why
That's why that you have to.
the legal description was so extensive.
Okay, all right, I know, that was very extensive for just this one parcel. I also thought it was kind of interesting how on the applicant's process through St. Malo's architectural review, they had kind of commented on that they'd like to see they thought, this is just a comment, but maybe you could add a shower and a gate, and both of them have been added, so that was good.
Okay, I don't see any other questions. Thank you. Would the applicant like to make a statement?
Reggie Reyes, Reyes Studio. I'm here for questions.
Well, if you'd like to, you can come to the podium and say who you are, and thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for hearing the project tonight. My name is Reggie Reyes, architect with Reyes Studio, architect for the project. I'm here to answer any questions. I don't have a formal presentation tonight. Here to answer any questions.
Okay, great. Thank you. It's going to be pretty straightforward, I think.
Okay.
So, any questions for Mr. Reyes?
I'm just curious on things. You know me,
Commissioner Bowman.
I'm just always curious about stuff. Number one,
Sure.
dancing bears. Where do you know how they even got that? That was so cool.
I think our client is a Grateful Dead fan.
A Grateful Dead plant?
That's
You're
where
kidding.
I think that's where it comes from.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's so cool.
Yes.
The other question I had was, let's see, oh yeah, the parcel right across the street when they're going to add this nice, beautiful master bedroom that's going to look right out at the ocean, there's nothing there. Is it hopefully the owners of that lot are just kind of not going to build?
well, that's what our client's hope is. We designed it as if there was going to be a house there eventually.
Yeah.
And yes, one of the adjacent properties does own that parcel.
Yeah.
And so we've been inquiring as to if there are any plans. Haven't found out anything yet.
All right. Well, they're good.
Fingers
It's
crossed.
It's good for them.
Maybe I'll get the project across the street.
You know, I do have a question.
Yes. Okay.
So I know the HOA approved, but I'm curious what the community said about the development, since there is going to be a lot of construction, and it's not, I mean, they're relatively close. Not, there's space, but I'm sure the noise. Just curious if they're asked what the community members.
Well, I'm sure, or maybe all of you know about the building situation and where they have a moratorium or between July 4th and Labor Day. So between Labor Day and July 4th, it's quite busy there, at least in recent years, been quite busy. So between the community and I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 contractors working there on various projects at the same time, they've been able to be patient with each other and acknowledge that this is my 3rd project in there. And so it's been relatively calm, not without its, minor conflicts here. It has its challenge, certainly. And to answer your question about the community, at least on this particular project and others, which I've gotten approved, they're supportive and very appreciative of what we presented. So, especially maintaining the character of this little hamlet, kind of hit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll bring it back.
Seeing there's nobody in the audience tonight, and I don't know if we have
Do
any
we have
slips.
any requests to speak?
Chair Morrissey, we do not have any requests
Okay.
to speak.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second? Commissioner Anthony, second.
Let the record show that the motion passes 6-0.
First official vote.
Yeah. I see no issues on discussion items, nothing on miscellaneous action, so we get right to city planners, commissioners' reports. I have nothing to report. Commissioner Gonzalez?
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Rosales?
Just a follow-up question for city planner on that project on Rancho del Oro, if you have any updates. I saw limited activity there again in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm ashamed to report that I didn't follow through with that request, see what the status is, so.
Don't be ashamed.
Let me look into that to see.
No worries. It's not a pressing issue. I'm just, like I said, I had a number of neighbors that asked about it, so
Sure.
just wanted to be able to
I can
give
let you
them
know
an
if
update.
the permits are current or not. I'll shoot you an email.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Commissioner-
No other reports for me.
Okay. Commissioner Obama?
Nothing to report, but would like to welcome our new women commissioners, Commissioner Redgate, correct, and Commissioner Gonzalez. Nice to have you.
Commissioner Dodds? He's not here. Commissioner Anthony?
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Redgate?
Nothing to report.
Okay. City planner, it's all yours.
Thank you, Chairman Morrissey. So for upcoming planning commission items, we actually have a meeting next Monday, right back to back, because I think for the Labor Day weekend, we have to adjust the calendar in May. So on May 5th, we have scheduled a regular coastal permit for some flat work and exterior landscape improvements and a new staircase or a replaced staircase at 1840 South Pacific Street. And then on May 19th, we have tentatively scheduled a project known as Lagoon Pacific at 1501 Kelly Street, which involves a tentative map, a development plan, and density bonus for a 35-unit project with 15% of the base units or 3 units reserved for very low-income households and 15% of the base units or 3 units reserved for moderate-income households. It's tentative right now. We're still waiting on final details to be worked out with the other disciplines. And so we'll nail that down in the next few days or so because we have to send out the notices for it. Moving on to council, we have first in a series of appeals that are going to be considered by the planning or by the city council. The first being on May 7th, the Olive Park 100% affordable housing project will have a hearing on the submitted appeal. And then on May 21st, There's 2 appeals scheduled. One would be for the 503 Vista Bella Density Bonus Project that this commission voted on back in, I want to say it was January. And then, actually, it was before that. The first appeal hearing was in January. This will be the second appeal hearing. Yes. And then on the same meeting, the Eddie Jones multi-building warehouse distribution office manufacturing application will be, an appeal of that approval will be considered. Moving out to June 4th, the proposed modifications to Article 46 will be considered by the City Council. And then finally, on June 18th, staff will be taking forward the entire storefront cannabis package that this commission considered a part of the legislative updates. So we'll be taking forward the legislative updates and the application materials and fees on the June 18th. And finally, the redevelopment, not considered by this body, but still important and keystone type of project, the redevelopment of the Regal Cinema site at 401 Mission Avenue will be considered. That, for those of you who may not be familiar with it, it's a mixed-use project consisting, I think it's 330 apartment units and about 20,000 square feet of ground floor retail with about 550 parking space in the structure wrapped within the building. And finally, this is more for the benefit of the newer planning commissioners, but I'm going to send the information to all the planning commissioners. There's available resources online that kind of says, hey, this is what my responsibilities are as a planning commissioner, and a publication known as the Planning Commissioner Handbook. Thought it might be useful for all the planning commissioners to have a copy of that, so we'll be sending you links to those probably tonight after I get out of here. That concludes our update.
Tom. All right.
Yes, Commissioner Rosales.
Thank you for that update. The 2 appeals going to City Council. I suppose those 2 are going to City Council with the limited issues of appeal as opposed to the full breadth and scope of what they could take a look at, unless we were overruled, or maybe you can tell us what happened with that entire issue.
Sure. So those proposed zoning text amendments aren't effective yet. They've only come to this body for a recommendation. They still need to be approved by City Council, introduced at a City Council meeting, and then the second reading where it gets adopted. So that's a 2-week, and then it's not effective for 30 days. So the appeals that I just mentioned that are going to be considered will be under the old set of rules, where the discretion should be limited to what's the points included in the appeal. I will note that both the Eddie Jones project and the Olive Park projects had extensive amounts of appeal points. So it may seem like a new hearing, but it's not going to be wholly new hearing.
So I guess the policy change related to what we took up last time of the council, when there's an appeal taking on the entire project essentially, is still going to go forward as they propose it, as opposed to our action, which was to not go forward with it and instead ask for to ask for a meeting with the council to have them explain.
Yes. So, yes, we're still taking forward the Article 46 amendments as presented to this commission. I think the minutes that you voted on today reflect an accurate depiction of what the Planning Commission actually voted on. I just haven't gotten any direction on what the motion that you did pass, on what action might be taken on that.
Okay.
But we certainly could follow up with you maybe not at our next meeting because I won't be here. I'll have someone else substituting for me, but at the subsequent meeting after that.
Great. Yeah, and for the benefit of the new commissioners, I think the motion and the position we took last time still stands in terms of our strong feeling that this body needs to meet with the city council on occasion, as opposed to just being a body that sort of idly sits off onto the side. The other thing I wanted to make, and I can do it as a motion, is that we replace the vice chair at our next meeting, because we don't have a vice chair at the moment. So I can do that as a motion that we agendize that, or just whatever action's needed. That would be my suggestion anyway.
Thank you for that comment, Commissioner Rosales. We're actually going to try to do that tonight, but it was very kind of last minute with everything, all the changes that have occurred. So we had planned on at the next meeting, perhaps having an election for a new chair and a vice chair. I just have to confirm the bylaws, whether the chair's position is just one term and supposed to be voted on again, or whether or not it's at the pleasure of the planning commission itself. So we will review the bylaws accordingly and then appropriately display on the agenda what actions we're going to ask the planning commission to take at the next meeting.
Great, thank you. That's all I have.
Yes, Commissioner Baumann.
On those density bonus projects, like so far we've had a few that have been pretty good as far as architecturally looking. They're not too bad. How much, we don't really have much say. We can actually, some of them, have been pretty weak. So, and especially the one downtown, we just mentioned the one that's coming up with the Regal, right? That's going to be a huge one. And so how much encouragement do you guys give these people when they come along about trying to make them look, nice? This is, it's Oceanside. We don't want to have just a basic, box.
Certainly, I appreciate that comment, Commissioner Ballman. We certainly strive for excellence in design, but there are some limits to our discretion on what we can ask for. So we generally, our position is we push to where we can, and then there's a limit to where we can't push anymore. And so major redesigns are frowned upon by density bonus law. There's some court cases that kind of confirm that, what limitations do exist. We think the projects that we're bringing forward are handsomely designed. A lot of thought goes into them. These are long-term investments for the developers building them, especially these downtown, the very dense projects that we're seeing. And so we feel that we're bringing forward the best possible product, but we do recognize there are limitations. And one of those limitations is, of course, the tools that density bonus provides developers, where we can't enforce a lot of our objective design standards, which are in the form of development standards. And so we have to waive a lot of those. So buildings get pushed out to the full extent of the property often. There are sometimes waivers of perhaps like some offsetting of the planes of the building of the facade to have some more undulation, because they ask for that. Because if we ask them to push the building in, they may lose 5 or 10 units, right, depending on how tall the building is. So we can't ask them to comply with a requirement that would physically preclude the project at the density that they propose. So we work within those limits to get the best possible project for the community.
Whatever happened to the one across from, let's see, it's on Oceanside Boulevard, next to the Cavalier, I think, mobile home estates? It was on the hill right there. It was the one that came before us that looked just insanely bad. They had the solar panels on the side of the building and all of that. What happened to that one?
Sure. So that project's known as the Breeze.
Yeah,
I think it was
the Breeze,
180
that's right. Yeah, the
units.
Breeze.
That's the one you comment.
The box with the solar panels on the side. It was really.
And that project remains, it's entitled, the entitlement is still valid, but it remains unbuilt. And there's
Okay.
no, to my understanding, there's final engineering and final building permits are not being pursued at this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we call it Cabrini Green after the Chicago housing projects.
There were a few names for which that project was described.
Right.
Well,
What do you think?
I see no other business, so we are adjourned.
Recording stopped.
I know. Well, Louise.